Hi, this is Kristen here with another process video, and today I'm going to be creating a layout based on this layout for my inspiration. This was created by Monique Lowe, who was a Paige Taylor Evans design team member, and I had pulled this from Paige Evans' Facebook page. So I'm going to start creating the mixed media background. The first color here that I'm using is Shimmerz Spritz Ruby, so that's the very first color, and the second one is Shimmerz Pinking a View. And I'm just using the packaging technique. This is the Pretty Little Studio Love is Kind collection, and this is the first time I've ever used Pretty Little Studio, so I was super excited. I had received all of this last week and had some other projects I was trying to finish up before I got my hands on this, and it's just a beautiful collection. So I was a little nervous to paint on it, just because mixed media isn't something I normally do, and you know, when you have paper this pretty, it kind of makes me nervous to paint all over it. This is Red Hot Poker Orange, and that's by Lindy's Stamp Gang. Now, I had bought that a long time ago, so I don't even know if that's a color that they have still in stock. I was not sure how this paper would take the paint. I didn't end up prepping it, which I was a little nervous to not prep it. But I wasn't going to go real heavy on it, and I wasn't going to spray a bunch of water, so I figured let's just kind of see how it does. It ended up holding up pretty well. I did have to put it through my laminator to kind of, smooth it out after all this paint, but I kind of feel like that's, even with prepped surfaces, I feel like I always have to do that, and maybe I'm just not prepping them correctly or well enough. This next color is Shimmerz Creamies Pink Champagne, and it's a really light pink color, so I really had to kind of apply it a couple times there to get it to show up a little bit more. And I really need to swatch all my paints out. You can see where I had kind of done it off to the right hand side, but I really need to sit down and swatch everything so that way I know what the colors are and what they look like. Because a lot of time, especially with the powders, they look different in the container. Plus, it depends on how much water you add, or how much powder you add, with how dark the color is or how light the color is. So this next color is Shimmerz Creamies Dandelion. Now I ended the paint here because that paper that you see kind of ripped up on the right hand corner there, I was planning on using that to kind of go over that, but then I just didn't go with kind of how the colors of the layout was looking. It was too light and pink. I wanted it to have a little bit more color variation, so I ended up not going with that and doing something different. So I wish I would have extended the paint over just a little bit, but hindsight being 2020. And these last two colors are both Vicki Boutin's Cosmic Watercolors. Overall, I end up being pretty pleased with how this looks. Although, again, like I said, I wish I would have trailed it off maybe just a little bit, kind of done more of a taper at the end, but I make sure I get some splatters on each of the colors. I do end up going back, and I don't know if I show that in the process, but I do end up going back and adding some more splatters, because it a lot of the splatters that I use, they kind of melted into the color, probably because it was still a little wet, but and I let it dry. And this I had, so there you go. I did end up putting some splatters. I thought I had stopped and ran it through the laminator and all that, let it dry. So at this point I had let it dry. I ran it through my laminator, and see, I had pulled those papers. I was planning on using that off to the side, but I mean, it looks okay, like looking at it now, like it doesn't look that bad, but I think if it had more of like the rainbow kind of variation color in it, I would have gone ahead and used that. Now, these little strips here were part of like a border pack that you could buy. And so I'm just doing kind of a tone on tone look there. And then this paper that you see me ripping up is actually the back side of this heart paper. So this heart paper that I have here, you could buy one-sided packs, and then they also have double packs, so double-sided packs. So the one side was the hearts, just like this, and then the other side was like kind of almost like strips of paper kind of diagonal across the page. So I just end up ripping pieces of those, and I just end up kind of making my own ripped edge look here, just kind of pulling in different colors of the papers. I end up liking it okay. I don't know. I wish I would have maybe done something a little bit different there, but I kind of committed. And a lot of Pretty Little Studio, they do kind of have papers where they kind of have that kind of all the way around the edge. It looks like, you know, ripped pieces of paper with like some stitching and stuff on it. So I kind of was trying to an extent, recreate that look a little bit on this side. And I just kind of start going for it. I was a little unsure of it as I got started, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. And sometimes, like I've said before, I can be really hesitant to work with new lines like this just because I don't know if it's the hesitancy is just because I don't know if it's because, you know, it's really pretty and I just don't want to ruin it. I kind of have the same kind of feeling a lot with like 49 and Market, where I kind of, and maybe because it's kind of got that distressed look to it that I'm just not sure maybe sometimes where to start. And I think that's kind of, I mean, I felt like I was off to a good start with like the mixed media, the paint and that. But then I really struggled with the rest of the layout. It finally came together. It just, I don't know what it is. It's like, it's almost like I psych myself out of it. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because I don't want to ruin the paper and it's so pretty, and you spend money on this stuff, so you really want it to look nice. But, you know, until you sit down and play with it and actually kind of create with it, it's not really worth the money that you put into it. You know, then it's just paper sitting in a drawer. So I try to be mindful of that and just remind myself, like, it might not end up being my most favorite layout, but in the end, another memory gets scrapbooked, and I got to create and relax a little bit while I'm doing it. So I just keep kind of layering these papers up. I wasn't really sure how far I wanted to push it over because at this point I didn't even know what picture I was going to use. So I had maybe an idea of what picture I was going to use. A lot of time I will start these layouts, have maybe an idea of what picture or pictures I'm going to use, and then get the layout started and then print off a picture. And sometimes it works. Sometimes I got to, you know, figure out a different picture. But in this case, the picture that I was thinking of was actually ended up being the one I used. Now, I do wish I would have cut off some of these borders because a lot of them get lost behind some of the the layering of this, like once I get the picture and stuff on there. So you kind of lose a lot of those, well, a couple of those borders, you lose quite a bit of it. So you don't really see it. And I wish I would have gone ahead and cut those off, but. So this is a picture I'm going to use. It was, we vacation in Marco Island, usually almost every year. And so this was my son on our deck, and it had rained really bad, and then this beautiful rainbow came out, so he was out on the deck giving us the thumbs up, or I guess if you know, a lanai. And the My Sunshine, that was part of like, it was kind of a pack where it would have been like full of kind of themes or, you know, titles and that kind of thing. So it was a lot of phrases and things like that. So I thought that that was good for as a title for this layout, just because this kid, he is hilarious. He is so funny. He cracks me up. So he truly is my sunshine. And so I'm just going to mock things up. Now I was trying to, I think in the inspiration picture, she's got it closer over, kind of towards like where she's got like kind of the break in the paper and then the start of the mixed media. But I didn't want to lose all that mixed media that I had created. That's one reason why, like, I tend to not do mixed media, because it's like you work so hard to create it and then you just cover it up. So that's the reason why I've shifted the photograph over, because I'm like, well, I didn't work that hard on it, but you know, still I put effort into putting the paint on the page. So I kind of wanted as much of that to show as possible. And this is when I was like, oh man, I wish I would have, you know, cut up some of these borders. And I'm going to tuck a couple tags in behind here. Now I did off camera, I tried to see if I wanted to mount the photograph on something, but I think with all the different colors and all that, I just couldn't find a really good paper that kind of looked like it stood out from the background, so I just left it alone. I feel like if you can't find a good picture to really enhance your photograph, or I mean really good paper to enhance your photograph, then I just kind of tend to avoid it anyways, because it's just going to get lost. So now in her layout, she's got like phrases with each of the colors, and so that is a cut apart. And I tried placing it. I just thought it looked a little bit too big. I didn't want it to take away from the title, because I don't know that she, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know that she like really had like an obvious title on it. I kind of feel like all the words were like maybe descriptors or, you know, something like that. So I didn't want to take away from the title. So I did pull out these pack of little stickers. They're little tiny phrases in different colors, but they're all in like a white background. I think I do have some stickers that have like the different colors, and then it's like the different colors as the background, and then the writing's like white or something like that, which I thought about using, but then I'm like, that's going to totally get lost. So I just stick with the white stickers and match it to the color of the mixed media that I'm working with here. So this one, and I don't know if you'll really see on the close-ups because they're really little, but I wanted to add those just for, I don't know, a little extra detail, and to kind of follow her layout a little bit, you know, just kind of tweak it a little bit. And looking at it, I don't know, I guess I almost wish I would have maybe just done the banners, but or at least the stickers where the background color was the color that would have matched the mixed media, but because I kind of feel like the white kind of stands out, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? I mean, I guess, you know, it kind of calls attention to those. Now here is where I get stuck. So I've kind of got the ephemera around. I forgot I picked out that beautiful banner. The banners in this kit are just absolutely gorgeous. So I am absolutely stuck. I keep pulling out some different ephemera pieces, some hearts and all that, and I just can't figure out what I want to work on this layout. So I decided to pull from You Are My Sunshine, which has a very similar color palette, maybe just a little, the colors are just slightly a bit different. So this rainbow was a cut apart, and I decided, well, we're doing a layout with a rainbow. The rainbow is going the same direction. So I decided I'm going to tuck that in behind the picture because I kind of felt like the picture was looking a little sparse. And then I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put on the rest of the page. I definitely wanted to cover up the right-hand side up there, since that was kind of where the paint had stopped. So that's where I'm saying, like, I wish I would have kind of just taken the paint over a little bit more. And I probably could have corrected that, but I had already had the banners down and all that before I really kind of realized that this is kind of the direction I was going to take. So I find this cute little cloud paper, and that is part of You Are My Sunshine as well. And I just fussy cut them, and I'm going to kind of scatter them all over the page. The little kind of teal paper off to the left-hand side that's got a heart cut out in the middle, that was part of like a frame set that you could buy. And that was with Love Is Kind. And really, I feel like Love Is Kind and You Are My Sunshine, it has very similar color, like a very similar color palette. So really, I feel like you could kind of interchange both, you know, different sets of ephemera. Like, I feel like a lot of them would work with each other quite a bit, just because it is kind of that, you know, rainbowy kind of color scheme. And now these are just some stickers there that are supposed to look like, you know, stitching. So I just kind of add those in some different spots there, just to kind of add a little bit something off to that left-hand side of the page. And here are some close-ups. I really enjoyed working with this paper and this collection. And of course, I'm obviously going to end up pulling it out some more. And I thank you for coming by to watch another process video.